Pātai anō.
Yeah, how we doing, guys?
Good.
Yep. I've got a little bit of a question on the worldview of the long-term investments and the sort of economic structure of a society. Going forward, it's almost guaranteed that the resource costs are going to increase and the wages are going to decrease. There's going to be consistent supply problems going forward across the globe on many areas. We saw it through COVID, and we seem to be blind to it because COVID happened and the supermarket shut down and all hell broke loose, nearly. We were like this close. The toilet paper was the problem, not the food. But imagine it, right? And so we're sitting in a world staring down the barrel of that because that was a mild cold. Lots of people died, but compared to normal pandemics, that was a mild cold. And so if we're staring down the barrel of that sort of chaos, looking forward, what are we doing to increase our resilience other than participating in the economic system, which is built like a house of cards?
Do you want me to? A complex question to answer that one. I think in terms of, I think there's multiple external influences that can happen, that being one of them. I think we've got some more localised external influences like the potential of AF8. We've got a whole lot of things that could impact on where an entity sits and even on Te Waipounamu and the world more broadly. And we absolutely look at all of those external influences, and I don't think you can change something immediately. You have to actually have a plan over time to get to a sustainable outcome. I know that COVID meant we had to react immediately and make some changes, but in terms of the way that we look at how the portfolio is structured and the outcomes, historically we've all been very primary sector focused. Actually, what we're wanting to do is we're adding in multiple other pillars and layers that gives diversity across that portfolio. And one of those is what we call a new economy mandate, which issue that Ngāi Tahu Holdings has had is when you get large, the minimum check size, the minimum investment you make will be really, really large. And so we generally won't invest in anything less than about 25 million now is about our minimum check size. So we've set up a $30 million portfolio that invests in small, early stage businesses, and some of those are really innovative, and looking at some of those sectors and some of those areas in the hope that that can inform us and inform the structure of the portfolio into the future. It won't solve it for today but hopefully it will for tomorrow.
Because you guys have, in your strategic planning and specifically the 2025 plan or whatever, the 20-year plan, that was all brilliant. You've got resilience, you've got sovereignty, you've got community well-being and all of that. And then it sort of falls apart when it comes to actual implementation because we're participating in the same systems what are exploiting our children. The children don't want to participate in the system, they're leaving and doing things I'm not going to mention. But they're getting sadder, they have to work harder to get the same results. And the only thing that we're doing here is propagating the system. We're investing in the same styles of extraction and the same styles of resource hoarding and conquest that's been happening for generations. We need to do a little bit more of the, how do we increase the resources available to the people, which is of course some of the planning. It's just then your businesses like Ngāi Tahu Seafood, you're basically exclusively dependent on China, which is our biggest trading partner. Nothing wrong with depending on our trading partners, but they've had a housing crisis which has collapsed their economy in the past few years, which now you're noticing your seafood. And that doesn't help anyone here. And that's purely external.
So I'll answer that question, then I think others want to answer some questions as well. So So in terms of China exposure, and one of the things is you can actually look at it in a sector or as a portfolio. So we're trying to make sure that we diversify away from, well, not diversify, we spread our exposure so we minimise China across the other sections rather than where we know the demand for seafood sits. I think Moka Udi, and which was what I think you were referencing at the start of that conversation, is we've got to work on that. We've got the vision now, how you actually operationalise it, and those, as Ben said in his speech, that's for the next 12 months. So hopefully that can give some more context to some of those other points. But I appreciate the questions.
Thank you, Todd. We have a pātai over here.